Welcome back to Franchise Hockey Manager 10 with the Pittsburgh Penguins. If you watched last episode, you'd have seen that we started off pretty decently, but it was very competitive throughout the NHL, especially in our division, and it still is. We managed to break away just a little bit. We're 37, 11, and 4 in 52 games, so we have a couple games to spare, but if you look at the drop, it's not that far, 66 to 58. That's still relatively close, and even 56 as well. So from 7th to 2nd is not very much. There's only 10 points, which is kind of insane. If you end up looking at theirs, at least there's a decent margin, but everything's super close in the Met. And yeah, one loss or a small losing streak could send you down so far that you couldn't recover from it. I know Rangers played a little bit more games, and then you have New Jersey that hasn't. So New Jersey could still make the wild card spot, but I feel as though our division is probably gonna have both wild card spots. Um, Transaction wise, we've only really done one really. We ended up trading for Bysted. We ended up getting rid of Tatar and Kopanen and Leon here, or Ilian, who's one of our prospects, but we just need immediacy now. So just that Bysted can play as a. I didn't have him as a playmaker. I had a more of a grinder, and hopefully he can just improve at that. He's still 21, but being 2.5 stars, he was around the same as Tatar. Tatar was around 2.5 as well. He played counterattacking, and then Kopanen as well. He was kind of a grinder as well, but he wasn't playing grinder for us, so that's kind of odd that he's going to play for them. But I think it's just the fact that he can improve just a little bit, and his stats look pretty decent as well. His balance is pretty good, temperament's pretty decent as well, but he's a little bit more multi-dimensional. But we do want to get a defensive forward at some point. Just a quick look at our roster here. We do have Bysted, Jagger, and Eklund, and then Duclair, Newhook, and Rust, McTavish, Crosby, and Boldy, and Gensel, Malkin, and Renton. And I think that just needs to be shifted a little bit. But I did find that the AI, when we end up changing things, they did have a habit of just putting everything in offensive. So we do have players like, yeah, Bysted's now a playmaker there. We want him as a grinder. You have Lockshow, who's not a playmaker. We want him as a counterattacking. So it's just a lot of these things that I feel as though we need to kind of fix a little bit. Even Duclair, I don't really want him as a sniper. I'd rather him as a power forward, I think. No, not pushing forward. Yeah, speedy forward, I probably prefer him as, but I mean, he has been doing good in terms of points. But we did figure out that was one of the issues that was kind of holding this team back earlier in the season. But in terms of points wise, though, it does look like it's going to be another year. You have Rantanen with 67 in 52 games, 67 for Crosby as well, but only 17 of those being goals. He has 50 assists, so he did break the record. I know everyone's wondering whether or not he was able to. He managed to do that in 1,392 games. He tied the record, and then the very next game, he ended up passing him in points leader. Malkin's still a ways away, so he's not going to end up doing anything with that. But Crosby still, he could pass him. He needs to kind of finish this season with around, 20 more goals. If he can do that, then I don't see how he doesn't pass him. And Malkin, I think Malkin stays as top 3. I don't see him being able to do anything more than that. And Yari, I kind of doubt that he beats any of the records set by Marc-Andre Fleury. Marc-Andre Fleury is always going to be the top one. He'd have to play, even if he plays the rest of his career, there's no way that he's going to do that at all, though. But Yari's been pretty decent. 5-2 win there, but we are still going to be hunting as it gets closer to the trade deadline. They're still probably around like a month anyways, but we're gonna do as close as we can to that, kind of show the games that we're doing, and see how well we fare with the team that we end up having now. But yeah, we're still looking for a head coach. I think we can start to afford one soon, but that will relinquish a lot of things that we can do. But so far, our assistant's not really doing too well in terms of prioritizing what we actually need. But if we can get a decent grinder, that would be good. I did accidentally get Eklund by by waivers, though. That is the difficulty. I know I said I wasn't going to do anything through waivers, but we just ended up grabbing him. We did initially try and make a trade for him, but they didn't want to do it. So then we end up doing the trade after they immediately put him on waivers, and I was like, all right, I guess we're just gonna end up taking him anyways. But as you can see, we have around 500,000 to spend. If we can get rid of Brandstrom's $2 million contract there, and even one of these other players, even if we can flip Bysted for something a little bit better, we're definitely going to do it. I do want a grinder, or I do want more of a defensive forward, maybe like kind of like what a Callahan would be. But let's take a look at seeing who's available in the trade block. I don't think anyone that really jumps out. There's no way Bouchard is. He's still under 3 years. It would be an interesting signing whether or not we can get him later on in the series. Playmaker, no, we don't need any more offense players. Even Pedersen's in the AHL here now. But Kreider's way too expensive, but his defensive rating's not what we really want for a forward. And then this one's not too bad, but I mean he's kind of just like master of none, just jack of all trades there. Falk would be pretty good. He is old, and his contract is around 6 million, so we can't afford that. But he would want to come to us, so there is positive in that. Pacioretty would be an interesting one as well. Yamamoto too. And yeah, no, he's just a screener and offensive player. So not really anything kind of jumping out at us. Riley Height is also, or Tyler Height, I guess, is another one. Yamamoto. Defensive read's pretty decent, actually. He is a counter-attacking. His speed is pretty good. His 57 grade is kind of what's throwing me off, though. And his 2.5 stars there. I wish it would stay at the potential when I end up hitting it, but it's not. It's not going to do that. Halla's face-off and hitting. No, that's about it. But let's take a look in free agency, though. See if there's anyone that kind of tickles our fancy. We could grab this goalie as well. Matt Martin. His hitting's pretty decent. His hitting is his checking. We could possibly afford that. He is playing in the KHL right now. We'll have to look at his contract. We can always send him down if it doesn't really fit our needs. And Matt Murray we could bring in as well. His save percentage is pretty crap before. I mean, his aggression. How many penalties did he used to get? 20. But that's in semi-pro. He did get a 93. Last time he was in the NHL, he got a 55, though. He only really played around 8 minutes. So maybe he isn't the guy that we got to look for. And then, I mean, Callahan. No, those are terrible stats. I mean, his mental's okay. Yeah, we might as well just add him just to be safe. Hugo's a pretty badass name, so we might as well do that. But these 2 stars, I don't really want to mess with them. Defensive read's pretty good for this guy, though. Nick Cousins. Let's see what Martin wants. I mean, he's slow. No, maybe not. Same player as most teams. Yeah, don't expect anything. His physical play is above average, and then he gets injured a lot. So no, probably not that guy. So far nothing, but we'll still probably shop towards the end. Who did we? Oh yeah, the goalie. Him down. We'll move him down the ECHL. 9-1. So we're still off to a hot start, though. You do have Boldy, Crosby getting points there, but Crosby not getting the goals. It's all Rantanen getting the goals. Crosby's at least getting a ton of assists. But there we go. Crosby gets his 19th, McTavish, and Korchinski. Korchinski looks like he's developing pretty decently as well. And then he ended up getting 1 goal and 4 assists. Jesus. He's just... There's no way he's going to retire next season. Or this season. There's no way. He's still young. He's still top 8 in the league. You have Crosby and Rantanen that are just completely leading the way of this team. We have 82 points, rivaling the Oilers there, but I still don't think that we end up winning this whole thing, or at least not winning the regular season. We're more focused on the postseason. But everyone improving except for Crosby's losing his offensive read, stick handling. He's still a 4-star though. Duclair with his acceleration because he's 30. Carlson stamina's down, and Letang as well. Letang's only a 2.5-star now. Malkin is now 3.5, and Russ is around 3. So Russ is definitely going to go. Even if we end up having to get rid of Russ this season, I wonder if we can actually. Let's see. Let's see if we can actually get rid of this guy. I just don't know what we would need. Quarterback, maybe not. I mean, Kreider's contract could be useful there. The only one that I could see that we might want to do, as long as they could keep it. Power forward, I do like that. Power forward, he can also do sniper as well. He's doing pretty good. Let's see if we can make an offer. See if the Rangers would be willing to do it. I kind of doubt that they will. Let's see. Russ is around 5 million. They'll never accept it. Yeah, so not with Rust or Ransom. Yeah, they're not going to do it. So we probably won't be able to get anyone. Yeah, it's kind of hard to figure out what team would kind of showcase. Let's actually look at the goals against here. Whoever has the least, we might want to target, or just one of the low ones. New Jersey, we can't trade them. Golden Knights, maybe. Maybe Golden Knights have someone that we could convince to come to our team. Edstrom? Screener? Don't know this guy. And then you have Marcia Show. No, he's too much. Well, 3.4. Yeah, it's too offensive. Again, we want a defensive one, but this, yeah, I like this actually. Gorbachev, should he get paid? 5 million. We are on his list though. He gets around the same as Rust. He plays left wing, right wing, and center. I don't think Rust is going to go to him though. Hardly likely they'll accept it. Let's see if they'll take Brandstrom back. No, they won't. And then let's see if we can sweeten the pot. No, they won't do anything for it. So it looks like we're stuck here unless we end up seeing that players are being offered out. That's the only attempt that we end up doing. But since obviously Berbachev's not even on the trade block, it feels there's not much that we can do. But we face New York and Columbus soon, and at least our owner is happy despite Crosby breaking his records. Yeah, 82 points in 54 games is pretty decent. And it doesn't matter how this guy's feeling. We have the Islanders here. Let's see if we can put it through them. 3-2 loss in regulation. Jagger getting his 11th there, and then Crosby getting his 20th. So at least Crosby's scoring. But we did lose against a subpar team. There's 64 points. But like I said, they're all just dogging it. There's still not much difference between New Jersey and Carolina there. So everyone's going to be fighting for the second spot. So every game's going to count for them, that's for sure. Patrick Laine gets 300 goals. Let's see, I'm going to switch our goalie here. I'm going to put Blomqvist in. Setup man. I don't know. Let's do, counterattacking. Coach Delic, I don't want as a playmaker either. Go. He can't do grinder. Can't really do anything actually. So let's do. I guess we'll just do grinder for him. Lock Show is not a setup man either. And I guess everything else is kind of decent. Power forward, screener. I don't like screener that much. He's a grinder. Okay, let's see if that ends up fixing anything. I think our defense needs to be figured out too. But we end up winning 6-4, so it must have done something. You have Duclair, Rantanen, Carlson getting goals there, and Lockshow getting 2 actually. So it does definitely do something. I do think the roles are pretty integral with how well you end up doing. But Columbus is still pretty a top team as well. So for them to even just lose that 6-4, I mean, we still are giving up 4, but we are scoring 6. So it's much better than the 7-5 and the 8-7 games that we've seen in the past. It'll be interesting to see. We'll do Toronto here first, and then we'll swap up our goalie after. So we do end up beating Toronto, but I think they're a garbage team right now. Malkin gets the goal. Gensel, Duclair, McTavish also getting it as well. So he's still managing to produce despite his change in role. And yeah, Leafs are bottom. So still even allowing them to score 3. I wonder what's going to happen to Matthews after. Maybe we end up getting Matthews after he ends up not doing so well in the Leafs. Because he's probably around 30 now, I think. Take a look. He is 28. Jeez, so he's going to go through a rebuild literally at the wrong time. Tavares is 35, so that's probably his last year. Oh no, he has one more year on his contract, so his second last year. And he'd be willing to come to us, but I honestly hate Tavares. I think he's garbage. I think he single-handedly is the reason why the Leafs are the way that they are. And I know that's probably adding too much, well, maybe too much credit or whatnot, but okay, at least they're grinder. I don't mind the setup man there as well. Russ is more of a counter-attacking as well. It looks like they took out Lockshow, so I don't mind that. Screener, alright, that's fine. 6-4 we lose though. Still giving up 6 though, so probably should have switched off McTavish. McTavish getting on the score sheet with Boldy there before eventually just falling apart in the second. We got Ty Smith's the only one who got a goal, and then McTavish scores the last one. Drew O'Connor, who used to play for us, ends up putting one in. He was a trade that we gave up with Kane as well. So I guess they end up signing him the next season afterwards. But still, 41 wins is not bad in 58 games, that's for sure. And we're just going to keep putting away here. Again, the fact that we're in the top scoring is pretty good as well. And no real big injuries, so it looks like it's kind of fixed, at least for this season. But I don't know, we're doing pretty well, I would say. But I do want to change up the D. I think we need to change it up at least for next season. It seems like I wouldn't be surprised if Letang ends up retiring after this season, though. And I wouldn't be surprised if Malkin retires as well and Crosby's just left by himself for one season. I mean, it will be kind of sad, but it's not like I don't expect it to happen. And it looks like it's they're getting ready for the trade, or not the trade, but the All-Star game, if they haven't done it already. Can never remember what month that is. I think it's in February. But it's surprising there's such a wide amount of no games here. And yeah, 58 games. I think this is when we usually end up coming in. But yeah, it's in March, so we probably only have a couple weeks before the trade deadline anyways. But Montreal there in 6th place, so that's kind of where we were even in the Montreal rebuild in the second season. And Ottawa surprisingly at the top, and Buffalo ends up being good in the future, but we might have taken one of their pieces as well. Oh no, we did that last time. So for all this, we end up randomly playing Seattle, but I think it's probably because there must have been the All-Star or maybe International. Seems to be going a little bit slower than normal, but 86 points is a good area. Still have teams that are just doing terrible. Yeah, it looks like it was none of the. Okay, that's just a terrible trade. Nelly, no playmaker. We don't really need you. Bordelo's on waivers. Counterattacking. I did think we tried to go for him as well. They waived Robbins again. The screener, and that's about it. And Barabanov. Okay, that was a different guy that we ended up looking at, so none of this ends up mattering to us. We have Logan Thompson that ends up signing an extension, it looks like. It is the one that we end up trading away. We end up signing a 1-year extension with them. Oh yeah, we didn't. Did we trade him away? No, we traded for him, I think. And then he ended up signing elsewhere. So it looks like we'll do this. Carlson now comes back on. And we're going to take on Seattle. 4-3. Not too bad, not too bad. You have Ranton in here that gets it, and then Boldy McTavish gets it. I thought was, oh, and Rantanen again. So Rantanen on his 45th game, or 45th point there. Lane Hudson doing well as well. But none of our goalies are in the contention here. It's not even close. I think the tandem is definitely taking away from that. But as long as we don't end up starting our goalie too much, I feel as though we should be good for the playoffs. And it looks like it's going to be around a week away. And let's take a look if anyone's available now. Duro, I don't know that. Trade block. Demko. Interesting. I do like that. I do like trading for Demko. I think we're going to trade for him for sure. Or at least attempt. Sean Dursey also looks like a interesting player to get. Yeah, I think we're going to go for... Let's go for let's go for Dursey first. He's only on 3.2. 3.2. Brandstrom would have to go for sure. But let's see our defense. Lajoie, no, that really won't do anything. Allen here. Do him. Obviously, we can't trade Letang. He's still on for 3 years. There's no way he's going to last based on him going down to 2.5 stars. Spence could be one that we end up getting rid of. He's on 2 years, 1.3. But we definitely have to get rid of Brandstrom, that's for sure. And I don't think it will even up. What would make this work? Korchinski, there's no way in hell we're getting rid of this guy. They want Korchinski for that. Jesus, okay. Look at our picks. We get rid of the San Jose pick. And let's see if now they want Ty Smith, Bystead. We could get rid of Bystead. Or Lockshow. Or Smith. I could see us getting rid of any of these. Smith might be the one that we want to keep. If they're willing to take Brandstrom off our hands there, then we should be good. I think player-wise, maybe Bystead's not that bad. Where is he? I mean, 62. He's doing 55. Yeah, you know what? Let's just add Bystead. We'll flip him almost immediately. Yeah, we'll do that. That should bring it down. He's going to be around 3 million. And we... Oh my god, and they're going to... Oh, I hate that so much. So why would they say that they want him then? So we need to take one of their players. Which it won't really matter. We might as well take one of their shittier players. just to get off the books. What the hell? That's 2. Oh no, Allen as well. Okay, so we have to get someone else as well. Oh my god, now it's a balance offer. What the hell? I don't want Anderson though. Terry? Terry. There we go. And let's look at obviously moving Terry back down. And I don't know who this guy is, so we'll move you immediately. And Chris Terry, I don't even know who you are. Maybe back down to ECHL. Yeah, you can hit waivers, I don't really care. And now we're going to go for exactly who we want. We want Demko. Actually, let's look at our cap. We still have around 400k, so as long as what we end up doing affects 400k, should be able to do that. Gotta look at transactions. Should have probably gone for Demko first. Lukokinen's also one. Sandheim would be good too. Look at his defensive rating. Old school defenseman. But he's on for so long though. He has so many years on him. He has 6 years at 6.25. We can't afford that. Let's make an offer. See if they're willing to take all of his or half his salary. And do they want Blomqvist for him? They'll take Blomqvist for him. Am I missing something on Blomqvist? I guess they value mental rating better than goalie rating. What am I missing? His stamina's good and all his goalie rating's pretty good. What's he doing this year now? He's at 893. Last year he was at 913. So what are they doing wrong? Maybe we don't trade for him. Maybe we chicken out. Yeah, I think we chicken out here. Who else do they have? Who else do they have? Who else do they have? Lukokkinen could be a good one. His mental rating's pretty high. He's around a 3. And yeah, Demko's the only other one that I would see myself trading for. I don't know why these guys are on the trade block. I don't see any other goalie. Goalie would be alright, let's go for he has around 819 save percentage as well, but it's the Jackets. Kind of doubt that they would trade us though. Oh my god, they'll probably accept it. So Blomqvist has to be better than what I think he is. Let's see if they'll do it for Dishow. They could do it for Dishow. And let's see if they will retain everything. And what's it going to cost us in terms of picks? We have the 5, 6, 7, 7. Well, we'll get rid of this one. Okay. Alright, that works. That was just a signing anyways. So we're going to have to send... Oh no, we can stay with this, but we can probably send Blomqvist down. Let's see what the AI does. So they keep Lukokkinen. Okay, so Lukokkinen is a trade up from him. And does he... Oh, and he doesn't start though. So far, those are the 2 trades that we end up doing. I think our team is pretty good now. I don't think we can afford anything else without getting rid of someone that doesn't deserve to get taken rid of. Still want to see if there's anything else that we... Let's go for current ability, actually. Demko's the highest. Sandheim... I mean, who do we have that we could actually... Let's try. Let's see. Feels like Rust would be the only one that we could get rid of. And he won't want to go with them anyways. Oh, that's so disappointing. But salary-wise, the only one that can... Like, Gensel's not going anywhere. Malkin either. Yari would be the only one. Rust as well. McTavish we're not touching. Jersey we just got. And yeah, there's no one else we can do. Oh my god, what they take for it? They take that much off of his salary. We could afford it this year, hypothetically. Next season would be interesting. What does Sean Jersey want for a new contract? 5.593. Interesting. We could probably do that if Letang retires, but we can't do it if Letang doesn't. Then Korchinski's already. We still have 22. We do have a decent amount of wiggle room. That's around 5 million there. Because Bolivo's not going to stay, I don't think. Could do it. That's only an extra 2 million. I think we look at it later. Eklund also is another one we could possibly do, but we'll see how well they do. But it looks like those are going to be the trades that we end up doing for this trade deadline. So it'll be interesting. It'll be very interesting. Jersey gets 50, obviously, and I'm okay with Lukakunen getting that. But let us know if we end up doing well in this. I feel as though we did. Jersey's up top too. He's point shooter. I thought he was a. We ended up losing the first game in regulation. We'll switch Jersey. I don't know why they have him. He was like an old school defenseman. Why did they switch him to a point shooter? That just seems so stupid. I noticed that after. Let's change it for the Vegas game. See if it does anything. I really hope we didn't just make our team much worse, but I mean Jersey's a massive upgrade anyways. Unless we really need a Bystad. If we need a Bystad and I made this mistake for that, then that will definitely suck. I mean, he wasn't that good. They already are shopping Tatar as well. And everyone... Nope. I don't even know who that is the only one that's not. Let's change this. He's quarterback. No, let's do... Shut down defenseman. Yeah, I'd much rather that. And then, yeah, he can be point shooter. We don't need two quarterbacks here as well. Two-way defenseman for sure. Letang can be quarterback. That's fine. Point shooter and quarterback. We don't need... Oh, Bolivo's the other one. Oh, Ty Smith's out? We'll do two-way as well. I don't know why they keep having so many like that. Oh, Coach Delic is also in as well. Not a good playmaker. Counterattacking at best. Eklund is not the setup man we want. Counterattacking. I guess we're going to have two counterattacking. Maybe not. Let's go up and down winger. Sniper, screener. Gensel's not a screener. Why do they keep doing this? He's a counterattacking forward. Boldy's a counterattacking forward. Let's change that as well. We can put him as up and down winger. Or even two-way. I don't think his defense or defense is that good. And then setup man, he's not a setup man either. Let's see, yeah, maybe back checking forward, we'll do that. I feel as though we're just gonna end up winning this game just because of this. We end up winning, yeah, so I mean all these small things kind of matter. Duclair getting goals and then Crosby getting the one as well. But we do concede at the very end, which is a little bit upsetting. But the Jersey signing, I think, is probably the best one. But as long as they allow him to be defensive, I don't want him to score points. We just need him to shut things down for us. And if he shuts things down for us, we should be fine. So we'll end up playing this Detroit game, see if there's anyone else that ends up getting traded throughout the season, and then see throughout the league, and let's see if anything ends up happening. What does he say? Okay, we're expected to be championships. Okay. That's fine. So Krulman was only for a second. I could have got him for a second. He's okay, but he does have potential. We can't afford anything anyway, so it's not even like I'm gonna be upset at anything crazy ends up happening. But trade deadline is, let's see what we have for next year though. It does show that we have around 7 million in space for next year. We do beat Detroit pretty handily 9-2. Crosby, McTavish, Boliveau, Crosby, Lockshow, McTavish as well, again, and then Letang, Malkin, and Lockshow. So a lot of the players that we end up changing their roles ended up, guess what? They end up scoring. That's insane. Can't believe that that would end up happening. But we probably do need a coach. But I feel as though we're gonna fire him if he doesn't play our players the way that we want. But we're probably gonna do that after this season. I think once the rebuilds actually like in full swing, we'll end up doing that. Okay, trade Peric Dubé for a third. That seems like robbery there. For sixth, that guy's never gonna play. Mancini for, okay, that's fine. I don't see anything else. So it looks like the trade deadline is done. Switch out players after. We went 2-1 against them. We did beat them 11-2 before. Carlson getting a goal, and then before we end up winning in shootouts. Oh, interesting. And then Gensel's the one who ends up scoring. So does Malkin, and obviously Bedard does as well. But we'll take a look at how well our players are doing here just before we leave. So 83 for Rantanen, 83 for Crosby. They're just matching each other point for point. McTavish was 77, Gensel was 67 in 63 games, and then Boldy as well. So they're all kind of averaging up there as around a point per game. And then you have Carlson and Malkin. They're still doing pretty good despite not getting the top minutes. I mean, Malkin's only really getting 14 minutes a game on average. And Duclair kind of slowed down. I think I kind of broke him. Smith, 42. Russ has 38, so they're going to obviously be put back into our lineups there. And then Letang even doing 35, but slowing down a little bit. And then in terms of goalies, we haven't been able to play the other one yet, Lekkonen. But so far, 26 wins, 12 losses, 3 overtime losses, and then he has around 901 save percentage, which is around 3.48. So we still got to fix that. And then we're going to try and see what we have with Lekkonen, if he can actually do what we need him to do. But we still have him, I think it's the end of the contract. How much would he want? He wants 4.1, so we probably won't be able to afford it. So it is probably an all-in season for him. But hopefully you guys like this episode. I know it was a bit slower than what it is normally, but we'll join us for the playoffs next episode. Leave a like or a comment if you want to see anything more. Subscribe if you like seeing this series, and thank you all for watching.